Hello, I am Sue Shapcott, the Golf Geek, owner of Change Golf Instruction in Madison, Wisconsin. I've just got back from the PGA Golf Show and wanted to tell you about 3 products that I saw there that were really fun and helpful for improving your golf. The 3 golf products were the Tsunami golf bar. I went there with an old former tour player, and Rollo, and we checked out the fitness program there. Golf Fitness X, which is a spin-off of the Orange Whip. They had some great stuff going on, and more of a kind of recreational fun product was Phi Golf or Phi Golf. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it. So I'm gonna just talk to you about those products, show you how they work. We had some mic problems during the show, so a lot of the stuff's gonna be voiceover, but I think you'll really enjoy what you see here. Our first stop was at the Tsunami bar. I'm sorry, the Tsunami golf bar. There's a chance Anne and I picked that one out because we thought we might get some cocktails there, but that wasn't to be. Ken took us through our paces. And the Tsunami golf bar tries to get you using as many muscles as you can. This exercise that Ken's getting us to do here is trying to get us to use vertical force in our swing, and kind of activating some fast muscles. And I would like to make a correction. Earlier I said met up with an old golf pro, Anne Rollo. Anne is an old friend. That's what I meant to say. Who we played on golf on tour with. Then Ken took us through some very golf specific exercises, and I gotta say, he looks like he's well practiced at this. That looks very good. It looks almost harder than a golf swing, but Ken has that down, and I can see how, if you know what you're doing with that bar, then it could be a really good golf specific exercise. Then he took us through some exercises to try and stop an early release. And certainly as an instructor, then one of the hardest things that I have to fix is people get an early release. So we took through that. I got to do the next exercise. I would like to think it's because I got the bar moving faster and more in that first exercise against Anne. So I got to sit on the floor and do kind of an ab type exercise, but also an arm exercise too. So he had me rocking back, feet up, and then trying to get the bar moving as fast as possible. And I'm doing my best here to try not to look too tired and exhausted. But it was a pretty good exercise, and it definitely, I could feel it in my abs. The final exercise that Ken showed us, he would not let us try and do this, but again, I can really see how it's using the vertical forces that you need in your swing. So he had one of the biggest bars there. Looks pretty flexible, and then just kind of bouncing down. He was pretty whacked out by the time he'd finished that, but great exercise for some vertical force. Our second stop was at Golf Fitness X. If you're familiar with the Orange Whip, it's the same company, and you stand on a board with this, which is called the Orange Pill. And the board is slightly concaved, and that kind of can move your weight around, which enables you to feel different things in your swing. And you can move around on the board to work on different areas in your swing. So right now I'm just taking a few swings. The weight's on the inside of my feet because of the shape of the board, which is going to help me turn a little bit better without kind of sliding over to the right as I make my backswing. Then I move back on the board. This is a great exercise for someone who has trouble shifting their weight forward on the downswing. So if you have trouble transitioning, pushing off that back foot, then just by having that board, having your foot a little higher up, it's a great exercise. So then I moved forward onto the board. So weight was back on my heels, and that's a great exercise for people who want to get a little more round in their swing, maybe not quite so up and down, get a better turn. So just with the board itself, you can do some pretty cool things. The next phase involves wearing a belt so that you can strap some resistance bands on, which instead of just using the board to get you moving differently, then the bands are going to pull you around a little bit and be a little bit more proactive in getting you moving. So once you've got the belt on, then you can get yourself strapped in. Now these straps are obviously going to the front of my body, and the first exercise with these straps here is to stop an early extension. An early extension is when on the downswing people's hips extend forwards instead of keeping the hip position back. So those straps at the front of me are going to keep the bend in my body, and I could really feel that as I was doing that, and it was stopping my hips from pushing forward. And I see that a lot teaching, and I was really impressed in how that enabled me to kind of stay back and not extend forward. So that was a great exercise. I like that. I could really see the benefit of that. Then the straps were moved around. I was told to take a practice swing and see if I could still feel that sensation of the straps keeping me back. So then it was time to move on to a different exercise. And, again, one of the biggest problems we see is how people's hips move on the downswing and through impact. And so then instead of having the hips at the front, then just by moving them around and moving them towards the back, then you can work on a whole different part of your golf swing. Now, traditionally, sometimes golf instructors just kind of grab people's belt buckle on their pants to help them move correctly, but obviously this is a lot more effective. So just by having that one strap on there, that would be a great way for people who aren't turning through enough on the follow through. It's going to kind of pull you around a little bit. I've got to say, I don't have many students with that issue. I have, more issues with people not shifting before they turn. So by adding that extra resistance band at the front, that kind of helps with the shift before you get a turn. So, after a few swings, and you can really start to feel that resistance. And again, after the straps are taken off, then it's useful to just have a few swings and see if, you can still kind of recreate the sensation. So golf swing fixed. There we go. Our third stop was Phi Golf or Phi Golf. I saw this stand. There was a lot of simulator companies at the golf show, but this just has an abbreviated club, and there's a sensor in the end of that club there that picks up your club head speed and kind of extrapolates what the ball would do, and the ball flight then gets projected onto a screen. So it's all run by an app. You can mirror your phone onto the screen, and you can play different golf courses. You can use it in practice mode, but even with a club without a face on, then I was really impressed at how accurate the data seemed to be based on what I usually do. I'm usually a big old hooker, and I was getting that with the flight on these shots too. I mean, it was pretty amazing. Then from a teaching perspective, then it had some great swing analysis. So you can put it on drive mode, and after each shot, you can really look at the data on there. Anything from just the basics, club head speed, distance, but you can also look at the tempo, your swing path, a face angle. You have a 3D image that you can look at the swing plane. It's really quite high-tech stuff. You can look at tempo, which I had to go with it on putting mode too, and that's a great way to look at people's putting technique. So I was really impressed. It's a great product. I can see that it would be a lot of fun.
So those are my highlights of the golf show. Some, great technology, great innovation. I really love the Phi Golf as a recreational tool and something you can teach with. In fact, one of them made it on the plane back with me to Madison. So I'm excited about getting that set up, and just seeing how I can use it. So thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe. We have technical videos and also some videos about how to learn and practice better, so please check them out.